2G's just jump spotting for this. Nice. Oh, dinked!
Well, he's got to pay for that one. The paint shells are in. Does jump to the other side.
Shrouded step away. Paranoia has been spent, though. And maybe that's what they were looking for. 30 seconds left, and now they're rotating.
Yeah, the thing is now those nanostorms are going to do so much damage in terms of time. They have to clear it beforehand. Just have to commit. Here's the thing, RRQ also couldn't over-rotate, so it's really anybody's game. Everyone knows exactly what's happening now. Oh no, the 0 point.
Oh, Elmi Moore. 15 seconds.
Flips can't provide support. The fragment.
Spike's got to go through. Oh, but Flips just outside the edge of the dark cover finds a shot anyway. The spike will go down, however. And now Sugar Zero trying to watch for the angle. The trip goes through. Last finds the shot. And Dep's pulling out utility, trying to fend them off, trying to catch a wall bang. But EJ tries to go for the crouch spray instead. Trades come through, and we're back to a 2-on-2.
But how so low on RRQ?
Wins. They're so darn low, but they need the shots anyway. ZETA are just hunkering down in Boathouse. Come to me.
But 2G's creeping
One
close.
more shot, and he gets the first. Dep, he's the last one. Flips is trying to tap it, trying to bait out the peaks, but he rushes at the last second, and Dep, the child of God, forces ZETA over.
40 rounds of absolutely impressive Valorant here on Ascent. Map 3 of the upper semifinals, and ZETA Division, they missed the chance to go play in front of the massive home crowd at Masters Tokyo. But this time they say we will not be pushed to the edge. We will stride forward towards the far lands of Champions Los Angeles.
Big moves, big improvements. We questioned the roster swap, the role changes, but it still works out anyway. The fundamentals, the mechanical skill of such a player like Dep.
42 kills. Yes, it was a long game, but 42 kills, only 26 deaths, and 11 assists here for Dep. I mean, listen, no one got out of this without a scratch. Everyone took damage, but everyone showed up when they needed it as well. And at the end of the day, Dep with just a couple extra superhero rounds, as he always has done when ZETA Division and the entire Valorant fan base of Japan needed most.
He brought them back from that brink of death at that one point in overtime. It was like a 2-on-4, and Dep still manages to find every single kill from there on out. We went the distance, but the players proved their focus, and despite ZETA winning this and going forward in the upper bracket final, I don't count out RRQ.
I mean, both of them showed that clearly when they're in the zone, they have the right to fly to Los Angeles. They both proved it. But for ZETA, it is about having to need a bit of a faster start. Because if they come on prime like this, at this form, maybe at the end of map 1, things are completely different.
One best of 3, our very first day in this double elimination bracket. And this is what we have. Oh, the next series is just going to be even more insane. But again, the win for ZETA, it means so much. ZETA and their story with how they kind of missed their shot at Masters Tokyo, now redeeming themselves.
Yeah, and that's the important part, because here's the thing. For RRQ, they were a team that started to show promise, but everyone said, okay, it was a beat lane, which is why you probably didn't make it to playoffs. You're probably on an upwards trajectory. So this was expected almost. But for ZETA Division, no, even though you made playoffs, it was still so shaky. And you needed something to say, no, we deserve to be a top team in Pacific. And right off the bat, in the double elimination bracket, in the upper bracket, they proved themselves in front of the crowd here today for LCQ Pacific.
I mean, again, we have to think about it, right? It's crazy, it's good in this overtime map, but starting things off, it's not all clean. That Haven was questionable, but they did recover on split.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was the story of ZETA Division at Masters Reykjavik. So this is one of those teams where I find it difficult to really argue in theory, right? Because in theory, you shouldn't have to rely on these super plays, but that's also when they shine the most. And they have such insane players when they're put on the spot. Dep, Last, Sugar Zero coming back. We haven't been able to shout his name much during the regular season of Pacific, and today we said it with our hearts out. ZETA division is back in form.
100%. I mean, honorable mention, 10 on this raise as well. And
Yes.
Crow, he's got 33 assists. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the changes with Crow here and there on different roles off of the IGL, it's starting to come back together, and the Des mentioned it. We've often put him on that spotlight to say, you have to be the one to improve. Well, when they needed it most, he pulled his weight.
I mean, he really did. So many of these rounds on the attack starts off, or even on the retake, with his flashes, especially on this KO. It's good, it's sharp, but that's the thing. It's not over yet. We've still got so much more left because this is still LCQ. It's not the last day.
Yes, it's far from the last day for both of these teams. And
feels like it.
Yeah, and ZETA division, sure, they go on to the upper finals, and if they can win that tomorrow, they will get one extra day. And of course, whoever wins that upper finals gets that ban advantage. But it's going to be either Team Secret or Gen G, and who knows what that match looks like next.
Yeah, and that's the next one that we've got cooking up. But still, I mean, coming back to this one win so far, incredible performances. RRQ, such a valiant effort, such a valiant attempt. And it makes you just think what happened in this overtime. They were winning so many rounds.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. The universe looked down and said, oh, we left Dep there. We need to bring him back. We need to bring him back to the heavens. And then he started to soar and fly above the entire team of RRQ. But of course, it was the rest of the team as well.
Yes.
Just the reads that they had, both of them. But ZETA just continued to stay focused just a bit more, just a step further in that overtime on Ascent.
He really is that guy. He is him. I mean,
It's him.
It's always those moments where you just think, all right, RRQ probably has this one. But ZETA, Dep somehow has this like plot armor to carry himself over, finding incredible kills, even though he's not on Jet.
Exactly, yeah. Even though he's not on Jet, right? Had the most impact on that Sova, which we haven't seen in a very, very long time. But the other thing is, I mean, how many? There were like 3 sets of overtime where we said, okay, it's tied, but it seems like momentum's still on the side of RRQ, and then it's Laz, and then it's Dep, and then it's Sugar Zero, Dep again towards the end. And then you have to start to question, okay, maybe the momentum didn't matter. It's really just about staying in the zone.
Oh my God, we went into an incredible overtime. Both teams performing, fighting for their lives, and I think records were broken today.
We had many a record broken. I thought maybe we were going to break the record for longest series in general, but couldn't quite get there. But still, 40 rounds played, 21-19, the final scoreline here as ZETA take the win, and Dep establishes a new LAN kill record in a single map. 42 is now the record to beat. What a performance from him. I had some doubts. Yes, he has played Sova in the past, but it's been a very long time since we've seen it, and this was only, I think, the 9th time in total that he's played it. So it hasn't been that frequently, but boy, did he deliver.
I mean, look, I think Dep, I've been standing this guy for a long time because I've seen the potential. I've seen that when he is truly at his peak, he is one of the best in the business. And you can see here, even when he's on Sova, he's still able to find a lot of impact. Now, there were a few weird moments with some of his utilities. There was a recon dart that went into Narnia one of those rounds. But,
yeah.
You know, overall, this is the thing about Dep, is once he gets engaged, once he gets in the flow of the game, he can just start shutting teams out almost individually. And a great game from Sugar Zero as well. Had a couple really clutch rounds, but really you have to give so much credit to both of these sides. I mean, it was a brilliant back and forth. There were so many rounds that I thought both teams were making really good decisions. You know, even when ZETA cut through spawn to go to A on that one round, I was like, I was screaming to rotate. I wish they would have done it a little sooner, but you know, eventually they made that decision. But then RRQ dials up an even better retake. So, time after time, both of these teams just throwing everything they had.
He's going to have to be our key player for today. We were
Without
a little
question.
skeptical.
Without question.
Yeah, but he pulled through.
You don't set a new LAN kill record and not get the key player on the day.
Yep.
Because yes, 40 rounds played, but the fact that the guy is averaging over a kill per round as a Sova in this extended series, it's just, it's incredible. It's impeccable.
Yeah.
I mean, 200 damage per round as well.
Yeah, a fair few of those were some Odin spams early on their defender side. But after that, I mean, throw all that out the window because he was stellar here today in these clutches, in these moments, in the heat of the moment. Dep is one of the best players with his decision-making, with his awareness, with the way he just kind of understands and feels the game. And this is why they nicknamed him the Child of God. It's just he just has this sixth sense about him, and throughout his entire career as an esports professional across multiple esports. This guy has been like Japan's hope. He has been their FPS like player, and you saw why today. This is why everybody's so high on this guy. I know sometimes he has a little bit of kind of ups and downs throughout the season, but still one of our best duelists we had during the regular season, and now here a little bit shaky on Haven, of course, but over onto Ascent, very comfortable here on this map.
Now all I can say is, okay, I can't be upset that I missed my pred on this one. Obviously, I went for RQ. I failed.
I'm not upset either.
I'm falling behind Paper Thin here. He's 2 ahead of me now as far
I'm
as predictions are
4-0.
concerned.
I am yet to lose a pred.
Well, there's always next game for that one. But I can't be that upset because it gave us such a gigabanger of a series this entire way throughout. I mean, if you remember, there was a 13-2 in there for the side of RQ.
Yep.
We had like one of the shortest maps we've ever seen with like 26 minutes long into one of the longest ones that we've ever had. So I can't be upset given how this series turned out. But what I will say is, please God, Dep, do that again tomorrow. Whoever you're playing against, put up a performance like that. I do not want to see inconsistencies. I want to see that level of performance from him at every twist and turn because he is capable of it. Just show it to me.
Yeah. No, that's going to be my question. In fact, everyone is saying if as long as Dep and Laz step up, this team is secured. I mean, is that reliance going to, is it enough to carry them through to the end and bring them to Champions Los Angeles? I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I think Laz probably needs to be a little bit better overall. I'm not sure. The Cypher didn't at times look super comfortable for him. I felt like the trap wires were a little bit predictable at times. I felt like he wasn't really getting full value as much as a lot of like the better Cyphers will. So again, I kind of want to see the Chamber in this spot just because he did bottom frag here, and I think with that Chamber there's some moments where he's just able to find just enough more impact that maybe this doesn't even get to overtime. But that's neither here nor there. Overall, they still get the win, so who cares?
Yeah.
Like, good enough.
Absolutely. You know what? And there's one more chance to see Chamber tomorrow for Paper Thin.